The 5th Corporate Culture and Spirituality Conference, Ethics in Business, brought together prominent leaders from all sectors of society for a dialogue on the pressing need to strengthen human values and ethics in business. This year's conference explored the theme, Being Bold, a Key to Sustainable Success, and showcased leading minds and pioneers who have achieved sustainability and success by daring to think outside the box. Special attention was given to the significance and implications of the current financial crisis on leadership styles and strategies.
On behalf of the International Association for Human Values, it is really an honor and a very, very proud privilege for me to be amongst all of you and to welcome you this evening. The International Association for Human Values, which along with its sister foundation, the Art of Living Foundation, has been instrumental in touching the lives of millions of people, almost around 30,000 villages, cities, and towns of this world in over 140 countries. So that's a mammoth task being done by the volunteers of this non-governmental organization around the world, inspired volunteers working day and night tirelessly. This is a momentous occasion. We are all here. Occasion of the 5th International Business and Leadership Symposium. It's the 3rd one in Brussels.
This year's topic, Being Bold, a Key to Sustainable Success, relates directly to the present crisis in the world. Today's challenge is to be bold. Take bold steps, leave known shores, so to speak, and find new sustainable ways. Ethics is not an abstract, but works on an individual level and means that each one of us takes responsibility according to his mission and means. Every one of us and we all together can make a change.
Corporate and social responsibility is important than ever. I'm involved in this field for probably 15 years, and I call it in my company the citizenship for growth. I do believe, and Adam Smith, wrote it in his book Wealth of the Nations, that still profit and care can live together. Because the first thing you care, it's you, but the second thing is you care about the others. More money will not buy you more happiness. Once you cover the basic things, it's the Maslow pyramid, right? It is about emotional intelligence, how you are connected with the other people. So as a matter of the fact, it is about the balance between success and happiness.
It is easier to suppress the first desire than to satisfy all that follows it. Pride that dines on vanity sups on contempt. Pride breakfasted with plenty, dined with poverty, and supped for infamy. And after all, of what use is this pride of appearance, for which so much is suffered? It cannot promote health, not ease pain. It makes no increase of merit in the person. It creates envy. It hastens misfortune. But what madness is it must be to run in debt for the superfluities.
Can we speak about business without speaking about culture? Can we speak about economy without taking in consideration the politics, the human rights, the survival of humanity will depend on our ability to understand those principles of ecology and life.
So let's become maybe a little bit more humble and understand the borders of our own nature and our societies maybe as well. Let's build trust. We can create trust.
Through its annual Corporate Culture and Spirituality Conference, the International Association for Human Values challenges leaders from across the world to explore ways of strengthening human values and ethics in business. how can a focus on human values attract the best talents, inspire employees, and enhance profit and shareholder value?
We are having this conference with a very, very distinguished group of people in the audience and on the platform, because we are here not to complain or apportion blame, but to find solutions.
This conference is taking place at a time that will prove to be truly significant, one for our planet. I'm sure you will all agree. We are looking at a world where the unexpected has become a daily occurrence. It took a crisis to show us that when the parts work together, the whole becomes stronger, that smaller differences can be forgotten in our united search for the common good.
These were ordinary people doing ordinary things. I think this is a core, as far as I would go, for understanding what is going on. This was a bubble building. And when you build in a bubble, some people live a bit in denial, but they have arguments on why they live in denial. For example, you all know that the housing prices in the United States were at the core of some of the buildup of the bubble. And housing prices went up, and you can borrow more and more against it, and people speculated they would continue to go up. And the argument they used is that US housing prices have never fallen, and that's true. They would have, to prevent the bubble, to prevent this attitude, they would have had to take a view that something is going to happen that has never happened.
So we need a better global governance. And for that better global governance, we need a combination of the focus on systems, on values. And it is in this sense that, in fact, the slogan which has been given to us for this conference, to being bold, is this a key to sustainable success? Yes, we have to be bold. So it is in this sense that I congratulate the organizers of this meeting again, because this brings exactly together these two sides which are, in my opinion, necessary.
Well, what's the link between business and spirituality, between business and ethics? Well, values gives you a long-term perspective. So with values, we have a better competitive position. We have the image with the stakeholders. And you see some other things. There was the London think tank who said companies that are doing foundation are easier to recruit people. So my conclusion is ethics is good for business. Ethics, just like optimism, is a moral duty, and it is a business opportunity. And I would say we don't have no time to waste on that. Thank you very much.
Trust is social capital. Our most serious deficit today is no doubt the leadership trust deficit. We must build an economy again serving the people. Now, markets are good servants, but they are bad masters. Corporate charter legislation should mandate responsibilities in turn for limited corporate liability.
My answer is that ethical leaders must return to public service values of self-sacrifice for the purpose of doing good for the stakeholders. Business leaders and corporates will find that success comes to those who possess peace of mind. The mental and emotional comfort of knowing one is doing good is very strong. But more importantly, we must learn and build the highest reputation. Leaders must inspire employees to believe the company is doing good, with good products, good services, and has good business relationships.
The main point was being bold can be taught, especially to youngsters, like the World Youth Forum that we have here with us. You people can learn it and really practice those skills. With that, I would end with a look at the role of breath. A calm mind leads to sharp intellect, leads to creativity and innovation. Breath as a tool for the mind to reduce stress, to enhance intuition and creativity, increase happiness and joy. A happy mind is an innovative mind.
The corporate world seeks the ethical paths through good corporate governance. But good corporate governance will only yield the desired results if and when it is effectively driven by appropriate values.
Business is the most powerful agent in the contemporary world. It has become a very self-serving agent. But the business, because it's powerful, it has a responsibility. responsibility in face of this critical situation. Business must become an agent for the public good. It's time to shift to the stakeholder philosophy. But what is the stakeholder? Who is the stakeholder? Used to be said your employees, your partners, your host community perhaps.
The future leader will not be a leader who is focusing on his own success, bonuses and glorification. But he's a leader who's focusing on his people and the well-being of them, who does not want to change them, but who accepts them as they are, with their strengths and their weaknesses, and using both. He understands that you cannot change people, but you can indeed convince people to look differently at themselves and change their behavior. That indeed is true respect for human values.
So, on behalf of each one of you, I like to express my deep sense of appreciation to each member of the panel. Let's give them a warm applause.
How do we band together? If as businesses you want to be committed to fight corruption, you have to build coalitions of integrity. And that's the virtue of sessions like this, to band together.
What is nobility in business? It's as much pertinent to being described the way Mother Teresa would have described it. Making a difference to the person around us. We cannot change the world overnight, but we can change each other. And we can start from within, because everything eventually does start from within.
Can you trust a company to do the good thing? And how would that doing good look like for a company? What do you really do? Your words don't matter. What is it that you actually do? So the P of performance. However, that simple equation doesn't stop there. There is a factor you need to deduct, in my view, which is the E from expectation. What is it that the world expects you to do?
I firmly believe that companies with social responsible behavior will create better societies. This in turn will lead to sustainable cities, a concept gaining momentum.
So for me, ethics turns out to be essentially that, to be connected with the paradigm of life, of the living. The paradigm of the living is quite different from the paradigm of the non-living, on which actually our science is based. We do not understand life. We try very hard at the moment to get the living out of the non-living, right? And it is not possible, because basically it is living. And why it's non-living, it only appears to us. So we have a much better way to understand our own way here in the world.
But let's hope. Let's work together. Business people and people from spiritual side, people from all sides with all our talents, and bring this synergy that God wants, and let us face the test to be the blessing.
Music is going from noise to harmony, and meditation is going from movement to stillness. So what we're going to do together is just meditate and be still together. We're going to do nothing together. Just relax the mind. Just feel the relief of shutting the eyelids, relaxing the eyelids.
The International Association for Human Values conducted workshops on leadership, spirituality and science, ethics and banking, and the future direction of capitalism. Participants engaged in in-depth discussions with a special focus on the recent financial crisis and ways of developing meaningful solutions to resolve that crisis.
You need very strong ethical leaders to drive businesses. And ethical leaders are fundamental to build and sustain business businesses which are ethical. Lasting ethical businesses can be built and sustained only by strong ethical leadership. And human values form the core framework. They provide the foundation. They provide the core framework to build ethical leaders.
Fairness is basically a way out of prisoner's dilemma. If you and your negotiating party both believe that you're operating on the principle of fairness, then burdens and benefits can be shared equally. People generally will prefer a fair outcome over an outcome that benefits them unfairly or disproportionately.
We all want to make progress, and in order to make progress, we can do so incrementally. But incrementally is boring. You know, it takes time and patience, all the things we don't have. So the only thing to make it really above the incrementalism in life is to gamble.
Now I wanted to address the more technical question of conflicts of interests in banking. And I think it is a subject which we must address in this seminar, because this is an ethical question and even a spiritual question, if one wants to call it that way, which is very important.
This one is a little bit bigger because the numbers are bigger, the greed was a little higher, but the world, in my view, is in perfect order as far as ethics and business and banking is concerned. Ethic and business always works together as long as we remember two things. Thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not steal. Thank you.
The question that the leaders and the company has to ask themselves is, we want to produce and sell and stop, or we want to produce and sell in a better world?
Очень важно, что богатство – это не самоцель. Оно должно служить созиданию достойной жизни человека и народа в целом. Деловые отношения должны строиться на уважении прав и законных интересов их участников. В экономике нужно сочетать принципы справедливости и эффективности вместе.
Research has shown that spiritually healthy people cope better with their illnesses, and there are a lot of research. Furthermore, research shows that spiritual caregivers, doctors and so on, can provide better patient care.
Spirituality is essential for leaders, in case anybody has doubt about that. The basis of this is strictly scientific. And some keywords in this regard is stress, health, energy, creativity, awareness, responsibility, relationships, not only IQ, but EQ and SQ as well.
We did the APEX course in the company, and it has, we brought in breathing techniques and meditation inside the company, and it has allowed people that have worked for 20 years to express themselves in a very, people to express themselves and reconnect to their own potential and to their own being, and it has also a lot of impact within themselves, within the company, within their family.
To bring the human being to the point of understanding, we need the communication with the youth, starting now. But first we have to donate our time, our wisdom and our love to the young people in the world and to invite them to start together with us the world shift.
I would like you to stand up and do some physical movements. Wave your arms and so that everybody is a little bit fresh, etc.
I think that we all became aware that the most important change that people can make is to change their way of looking at the world. We can change studies, jobs, neighborhoods, even countries and continents, and still remain much as we always were, but change our fundamental angle of vision, and everything changes. Our priorities, our values, our judgments, our pursuits.
When we look to the crisis we have right now in the financial system, the whole society is responsible. Because at a certain time, everybody was happy, and one of the regulations should go to what kind of transparency, what kind of quality of information should be given to the people working with the banking system.
We need to make capitalism serve our interests by trying to make it responsive to the real values of real people who actually own corporations in the end, rather than the distorted version of self-interest that we have seen and so recently suffered.
We have 54 wonderful young people here in this hall. They are from 15 countries. They have been selected. There were 2,000 people, young people who wanted to get into this training. They were selected. And the idea of the training was that the young people get a new dimension to leadership, to find their inspiration and to use the full potential. And I'm quite sure that we will feel this just now as they are going to come to us. These 54 young leaders went through a training which is composed of 3 elements. Number 1, a training for personal excellence versus the professional excellence, which we much focus probably in university, in school. So it was focusing on creativity, stress management, how to use the full potential. Then we had wonderful leaders coming in. Many of the leaders sitting in this hall came in and they shared not only their professional experience, but they shared actually from their heart their life stories, and they invited questions.
You know, I went to check my bank account this morning and it said insufficient funds. So I'm wondering, is it them or is it me? Okay, so you know, we are all laughing about this now, but unfortunately, this is no longer a joke. This is reality. Dear delegates, and everyone who has the opportunity to be with us today, it is time to wake up. It is time to change perspectives. It is time for new added values. It is time to redefine profit. Time is now. We need a U-turn in our corporate world. The same change is needed in our political process, our environmental policies, our educational system. Let's analyze the circumstances that make up our present state by looking at it from another view, the view of the youth. This is the call of the youth, an ageless message.
Another world is possible. This is the vision of the youth. Today's world is facing one of the worst financial crises ever. We are all conscious of this. We are all responsible for this. The leaders of our society might have allowed this, but we all took part in it. And now we, the youth, have to pay the price. Today, society is losing trust in its leaders. It is necessary to lead by example, with strength and true moral values. An ethical leader creates other leaders and brings out the best in people.
As human beings, we are in a position to make a change now. We are facing difficulties, but difficulties create opportunities. We are very confident and feel unconditional trust and hope for our future. This might sound like a call of a naive generation, but we are full of freshness and vitality. This is our goal. We dream it, we live it, and we can achieve it. Yes, we can.
In selecting candidates for the award, the committee looks into the following factors: demonstrating extraordinary commitment to the human values, which can unify us as a world community. Working to build understanding between diverse societies. Employing non-violent means for creating political and social transformation. Fostering greater understanding of environmental concerns, using culture as a vehicle for peace building.
So it gives me great pride, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce to you the winner of this year.
This award gives a lot of motivation to us and to build a great institution. I am very much thankful to this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rau, and give Mr. Rau a big hand. I'm very honored to present this year's Ethics in Business Award in the category Outstanding Individual to Professor Dr. Ibrahim Abuleish.
Well, you invited me to come to Brussels. That was not taken into account that I will receive this very important and very honorable prize. Now, thanking you for this recognition, and thank you.
I'm very honored that we can give this award for the outstanding contribution to science and humanity, for his strong commitment and determined efforts to promote sustainable, equitable, and peaceful society, for his deep concern for the survival and development of humanity, and for his strong opposition to the militarization of space and use of nuclear weapons.
I feel very honored to get this. And I'm speechless in a way. And you know, I mean, if you're speechless, it means you have some very profound ideas about it. Thank you very much.
When I see the people of my own age group again standing in front of me and like I just someone who is again inspiring me here, it feels like I feel more inspired and I feel more energetic by this. I mean, it's certainly a very big honor for me to acknowledge someone who is also started at the who's also started their achievement at the age of 14.
I go through life thinking that you can always learn from somebody, no matter how small or how big they are, no matter how old or how young they are. And I think people have to go through disappointments in life and to be able to succeed. So I think everybody here can say that they've never ever just had positive thoughts or positive ideas or positive circumstances. And we have to have those negative circumstances. So to go out and to use them in a positive way and to learn from them.
Let's continue to remove borders, barriers between nations, and in our heads. Let's join hands and jointly work together to solve the problems of this world. It's fun, it's fulfilling, and it serves the purpose we all long for. I want to express my deep appreciation to the organizing committee and the many volunteers who prepared this conference in a pretty short time. You did a wonderful job. Let's all clap and join hands.